I'm 73 and I live alone, but I am never lonely. And I mean that with my whole chest. The surprising part is this. I used to be the kind of woman who could not sit in a quiet house for even 10 minutes without turning on the TV, calling somebody, or cleaning something just to make noise. The first week my home became just mine, the silence felt so loud it scared me. I remember standing in my kitchen at 9:12 p.m., staring at one cup in the sink and thinking, is this what the rest of my life is going to feel like? But then one small thing happened. The next morning, I opened my front door to get the newspaper, and my neighbor, Mr. Leon, waved and said, "Morning, Dorothy. Same time tomorrow?" I laughed, but that simple sentence planted a new idea in my head. Lonely is not about living alone. Lonely is about living without small connections, small routines, and small reasons to get up. So today, I'm sharing my best 4 tips that keep me living alone but never lonely. And if even one of them sticks with you, your days can feel lighter starting this week. Living alone after 60 is not just a lifestyle change, it is a health issue, a safety issue, and a happiness issue. I learned that the hard way. When my home first became quiet, I told myself I was fine. I said I liked my peace, and I did. But some nights, the silence did not feel peaceful. It felt heavy. And if you are watching this, you might know that feeling too. Maybe your spouse passed. Maybe there was a divorce. Maybe the kids moved away. Or maybe you simply chose to live on your own. No matter the reason, the biggest fear is not cooking for one or sleeping in a quiet bed. The biggest fear is this. What if I start to disappear little by little and nobody notices? That is why this topic matters so much. Real loneliness and social isolation can raise the risk of health problems like depression, heart disease, and memory decline, according to the National Institute on Aging. And the World Health Organization also warns that social isolation and loneliness can seriously affect both physical and mental health. But solutions do exist, even later in life, and even if you live alone. Now, I want to be very clear. Living alone does not mean living lonely. The National Institute on Aging explains something important. You can live alone and not feel lonely, and you can feel lonely even in a house full of people. So in this video, I am not here to scare you. I am here to give you a simple plan. These are the same 4 tips that took me from quiet and hurting to quiet and steady to quiet and truly happy. And you can start small, even if your energy is low, even if your body hurts, even if you feel shy. Tip 1. Make your home a calm place, not a waiting room. The most common mistake I see seniors make when they start living alone is letting the house slowly slide. Not because we are lazy, but because there is no one watching. No one says, "Hey, are you okay?" when the dishes stack up. No one notices the unopened mail. And then one day you look around and your home feels heavy. I did this. About 3 months after my life changed, my friend Marlene, she is 71, stopped by without warning. She stood in my doorway and said softly, "Dorothy, you are not living here. You are hiding here." That hurt, but she was right. And here is the simple truth. When our space looks like chaos, our brain often feels like chaos too. Experts explain that loneliness and isolation can raise stress in the body, and long stress can harm health over time. So we want our home to be the one place that helps our nervous system settle down, not get more tense. The National Institute on Aging explains that loneliness and social isolation are linked with higher risk of depression and cognitive decline. And it also explains that long emotional pain can trigger stress responses in the body. That is why a calm, steady home matters so much. Here is what I do now, and I want you to copy it exactly for 1 week. First, set a timer for 15 minutes after breakfast. Second, do only 3 things. Clear the sink, clear one surface, and pick up the floor in one room. Third, stop when the timer ends, even if it is not perfect. The goal is not a spotless home. The goal is a home that says, "You are safe here." If you want a simple visual for your video while you tell this part, a calm morning coffee shot works beautifully, like this photo of a woman by the window with coffee. Tip 2. Use the 3 times a week rule so your world does not shrink. When we live alone, staying home can feel easy. It can even feel smart. Why go out when the groceries can be delivered and the bills can be paid online? But this is the trap. Little by little, your world gets smaller, and a smaller world can turn into loneliness without you noticing. I once went 5 days without leaving my apartment. 5 days. I did not feel dramatic sadness. I felt numb. Then, on the 6th day, I walked to the pharmacy. The cashier said, "How are you today?" and my throat tightened because I realized I had not spoken to a stranger in almost a week. That scared me. The National Institute on Aging explains that too little social activity and being alone often can make everyday tasks harder over time, and it ties isolation to risks like depression and cognitive decline. So I made a simple rule that saved me. 3 times a week, I leave the house, even if it is just for 20 minutes. Monday, coffee shop or a short walk. Wednesday, park bench or library. Friday, grocery store in person. And I do not wait to feel like it. I treat it like brushing my teeth. Practical steps that work. First, pick your 3 days. Second, write them on paper, put it on the fridge. Third, make it easy. Wear the same comfortable shoes, keep your keys in the same spot, and choose places close by. If you feel nervous, start with the smallest step. Walk to the mailbox, then back. Next time, walk 1 block. You are not trying to become a social butterfly. You are keeping your body and brain connected to the real world, because your home is not a prison, it's a base. Tip 3. Have one anchor person who would notice if you went quiet. This tip is the one that turns living alone into living safely. Many seniors say, "I do not want to bother anyone." I used to say that too. Then I slipped in the shower one winter morning. I did not break anything, thank God, but I sat on the bath mat for a long time, breathing hard, thinking, if I hit my head, who would know? That is when I learned the difference between being alone and being isolated. The National Institute on Aging says exactly this idea. You can live alone and not be lonely, but isolation is when you have few social contacts and few people to interact with regularly. I decided I needed one anchor person. For me, it is my daughter, Claire. Every Sunday at 10 a.m. she calls, same time every week, and we keep it simple, 20 minutes, no heavy talks unless we need them. She tells me about the kids, I tell her about my week, sometimes we laugh about something silly. Here is the practical part. First, choose one person, family, friend, neighbor, church member, anyone kind. Second, ask for a set day and time so you do not have to work up the courage each week. Third, keep it short, 15 to 20 minutes. Fourth, agree on a small safety plan, like if I do not answer, call again, then check on me. This is not being a burden, this is being wise. If you are watching, tell me in the comments, do you already have an anchor person or do you need to choose one? Tip 4. Create small, look-forward moments so your week has shape. Loneliness is not only about missing people, sometimes it's about missing meaning. When every day looks the same, the hours feel longer. After I began living alone, Tuesday felt like Thursday, and Thursday felt like Sunday. That blur can make the heart feel tired. A friend of mine, Arthur, he's 76, told me something I never forgot. He said, "Dorothy, my problem is not that I am alone. My problem is I have nothing to aim at." That sentence hit me, so I started giving my week one small bright spot. Nothing fancy, just one thing to look forward to. The World Health Organization says social connection supports well-being, and solutions exist, including community groups and support programs. That matters because sometimes the thing you look forward to is also the thing that puts you near other humans. Here is my simple method. Every Sunday, I write one plan on paper. Tuesday, bookstore. Friday, lunch special at the diner. Wednesday, try a new walking route. It does not need to cost money, it just needs to be real and scheduled. Then, when you wake up on a hard day, you can say, okay, today is not just another day, today is the day I go to the library, or today is the day I sit in the sun for 10 minutes. This does something powerful to the brain. It gives you a reason to move forward. It gives the week a shape again, and when life has shape, it feels less lonely. Many people mean well, but they repeat a few myths about living alone in your 60s, 70s, and beyond, and those myths can quietly push you into fear, shame, or isolation. So let's clear them up gently, because you deserve peace, not pressure. Myth 1. If you live alone, you must be lonely. This is one of the biggest misunderstandings. Living alone is a living situation. Loneliness is a feeling. The National Institute on Aging says it clearly. Loneliness is the distressing feeling of being alone or separated, while social isolation is the lack of social contacts and having few people to interact with regularly. I know couples who feel lonely in the same house, and I know people who live alone and feel steady, loved, and connected. The danger of this myth is that it makes you think your life is automatically sad, so you stop trying to improve it. The correct approach is to build small connections and routines, even if you keep your independence. Myth 2. If I ask for regular calls or check-ins, I'm a burden. I hear this a lot, and it breaks my heart because it is not true. Having one anchor person is not neediness, it is safety and dignity. The National Institute on Aging warns that adults who are lonely or socially isolated tend to be less healthy and are at higher risk for serious health problems. When I asked my daughter for a Sunday call, it did not weaken me, it strengthened me, and it strengthened her too, because she felt calmer knowing we had a plan. The correct approach is simple. One set time, one short call, one clear agreement about what to do if you do not answer. Myth 3. Loneliness is just a feeling, it cannot really hurt my body. This myth is dangerous because it makes people ignore a real health risk. The National Institute on Aging explains that emotional pain can activate the same stress responses in the body as physical pain, and over time, this can lead to chronic inflammation and reduced immunity. The World Health Organization also says social isolation and loneliness can have a serious impact on physical and mental health, quality of life, and even longevity, but solutions exist. The correct approach is not to panic, it is to take loneliness seriously and treat connection like a health habit, just like sleep and movement. There is a moment that still brings tears to my eyes when I think about it, and I want to share it with you because it might feel familiar. It was a Sunday evening, rainy, the kind of gray day where the house feels quieter than usual. I had not gone out, I had not called anyone, I had done the bare minimum. And then I sat in my chair and watched the light fade from the window. And I remember thinking, so this is it. I am still here, but my life is getting smaller. That thought scared me more than living alone ever did. So I did something that felt silly at the time, but it changed everything. I stood up, put on my shoes, and walked to the mailbox, even though I knew there was probably nothing important inside. I opened it, saw a small flyer for the local library, and right there on the paper it said, Community Book Hour, Wednesdays at 2. I do not even love crowds, but I wrote it down anyway because I was tired of waiting to feel better. That Wednesday, I went. My hands were cold, my heart was beating fast like I was a teenager going to a first dance, and I almost turned around at the door. But I walked in, sat in the back, and listened. Nobody stared, nobody judged. Afterward, a woman named Susan, she was 68, smiled and said, "Do you come here often?" I laughed and told her the truth. "No, I'm learning how to be brave again." She said, "Me too." And that was it. Not a grand miracle, just one honest moment between two people. So if you are living alone right now and you feel that ache in your chest sometimes, I want you to hear me clearly. You are not broken and you are not weak. You are adjusting. It is normal to grieve what you had. It is normal to set new boundaries. It is normal to build new habits slowly. Peace does not arrive all at once. It arrives in small steps, like a 15-minute tidy-up, a short walk, a Sunday call, a plan on the calendar. Those small steps add up to a life that feels warm again. And if you need a gentle reminder of what connection can look like, even one phone call at home can be a lifeline. You made it to the end with me, and I hope you feel this in your chest the way I do. Living alone does not have to mean living lonely. It can mean living steady. It can mean living safe. It can mean living with peace you earned. Today I shared my best 4 tips that keep me at 73, living alone but never lonely. First, make your home a calm place, not a waiting room. Just 15 minutes a day can change your mood. Second, follow the 3 times a week rule so your world does not shrink. Third, choose one anchor person who would notice if you went quiet. Fourth, give your week shape with one small look-forward plan so your days stop blending together. And if you remember only one thing, remember this: connection is not a luxury for seniors. It is part of health and well-being. Now here is my gentle challenge for tomorrow. Do just one small thing. Set a 15-minute timer and tidy your space, or take a short walk to the mailbox, or text one person and say, "I was thinking of you." Small steps count. They really do. If this video helped you, please tap like, subscribe for more warm and practical senior living advice, and share this with someone you care about. And I would truly love to hear from you in the comments. Do you live alone right now? And what is the hardest time of day for you? Mornings, evenings, or weekends? Also, tell me what topic you want next: staying active after 60, handling anxiety, making friends later in life, or building a simple daily routine. And if you want a comforting reminder of what connection can look like, even at home, here is a gentle image of an older woman on the phone, simple, calm, and real. You are not invisible. You are not finished. We are still here, and we can still build a good life, one small habit at a time.